Hello, Arch again. I've got a Affliction Warlock update for you, as promised. There's only been a couple of changes, nothing too drastic, but there has been a few which need to be highlighted. So let's just get straight down to business, shall we? First of all, we have Doom. Now, if you remember recently, I did an update video showing you the Glyph of Doom, where they added Doom in again, which replaces Corruption. They've now decided that they didn't like that, and they've got rid of it. So that didn't last very long. So you're now back to using Corruption, which is, I mean, it's alright because, you know, it's what we're used to using, but it was quite nice having Doom because it was a very long dot, and you didn't need to constantly refresh it. So, yeah, ups and downs. We'll see how that pans out as to whether it's going to be a DPS upgrade or not using Corruption. But it's too early to tell really, but they've got rid of Doom again. Another change, Everlasting Affliction. You might remember this. Originally when the beta came up, they had Affliction Warlocks had Everlasting Affliction, where any time you refreshed a dot, it would have its duration increased by 50%. At the same time, anytime you refreshed a channeled cast, it would have its duration increased, and that could have increased stacked up to 5 times. They then got rid of that completely on everything. I don't know why, but they did. They obviously didn't like it, and they've now added in Glyph of Everlasting Affliction, which basically replaced Doom, which now adds back in the refreshing a dot increases its duration by 50% rather than resetting it. They still haven't added back in the channeled cast increased duration. I don't know if they will. It would be nice if they did, because it was quite handy, especially if you're just constantly refreshing Malefic Grasp in between dots. It would be nice if you could just stack it up to a 12-second cast and then wait. But never mind. So the dots now last a lot longer, but you're still refreshing them. They refer to it as Bane of Agony in the glyph, but Agony is still referred to as Agony and hasn't been renamed to Bane yet. But it affects it, so it doesn't matter whether it's a typing error or what. It actually affects the right spell, so that's fine. Seed of Corruption has had its damage dealt increased. Seed of Corruption has changed in the beta actually from live. It sort of got updated with current damage levels, if you kind of catch my drift. Because back in the day, Seed of Corruption was good because you'd put a seed up and then it wouldn't explode until it reached a certain amount of damage done by you. But then it got to the point where you were doing that much damage instantly, pretty much, like within the first tick, because it wasn't updated since like Burning Crusade or something. So it would explode instantly, so you just be spamming 1, just explode. They've now upped this damage, as you can probably see, to 22,000 damage. So you can now get, I mean, I tried it without doing harvesting life and without any dots on the target, but you can pretty safely get 6 or 7 Seed of Corruptions up before any of them will explode, which is quite nice because you can get like 5 Seed of Corruptions up. You can then do an empowered Seed of Corruption on the last one, so that'll explode last, so the corruptions don't get overwritten, and then harvest life while you wait for them to proc, and then your harvest life is doing a lot of AoE damage as it is, and then those will all explode for a shit ton of damage. And then after that, every single target will have Corruption on it, along with Harvest Life, will be just ticking away for another shit ton of damage. So the AoE is looking very strong in Mr. Pandaria. We don't have Shadow Flame anymore, obviously, so it's just literally Harvest Life and Seed of Corruption, and then obviously the corruptions that you can get up on there. So it is looking quite strong. Right now, they did say that they Soul Burn won't cost a Soul Shard, but it doesn't appear to have actually taken effect because it's still there. So, hang on a minute. Effective spells, Soul Swap. What? Let me have a look at this. Instantly applies corruption, unstable affliction, and agony. What? When did I miss that? That must have come just now. Oh, nice. So if let me try that now. Okay, now. Hold up. Gotta try this. Wow. Oh my god. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, there you go. There's another little new change for you. Soul Burn now affects Soul Swap. Instantly applies unstable affliction, corruption, and agony to the target. Obviously, 60-second cooldown, like all of the abilities. Oh no, wait, that's a 60-second cooldown. So the others don't. No, that still does invoke a 60-second cooldown. See whether Seed of Corruption does, because I think they said that they don't want any of these to invoke a 60-second corruption. Only Summon Demon, but it appears that it actually is. So yeah, they are invoking a 60-second cooldown, which I don't think they want it to do. So that would be interesting to see how that pans out. There's still one thing I think needs to be added in. This is out of combat. There is still no way to regen soul shards. If you're out of combat, you just can't regenerate soul shards. So it's like, if you finish a fight with no soul shards, you're going to start the next fight with no soul shards. And so you won't be able to soul burn Seed of Corruption if it's an AoE pack, or you won't be able to soul burn Soul Swap if it's single target. You won't be able to soul burn a pet if it died, you know. So I would like to see, like, out of combat, you generate one soul shard every 15-30 seconds or something like that, just to help you when you're walking around doing stuff. Because, you know, if you're regenerating health and regenerating mana, I don't see why you can't regenerate a soul shard. So, you know, seeing as we don't have Harvest Life anymore to just get all our soul shards back when we need it, like every 60 seconds. So I think they need to really add that in. I don't know if they will. They haven't said anything about it, but I definitely think they need to. Grimoire of Sacrifice has changed, as I probably mentioned in a video. No longer is it just straightforward damage done increased by 15%. It's now increases Malefic Grasp and Fell Flame by 60%, and then 120% for the first 15 seconds. Now, the tooltip says increases it by 15% and regenerate 2% of your maximum health, but it definitely isn't doing that. Let's let me just get down there and then I can do some damage with it first. It's doing a lot more. Like I said, it's doing 60% and 120% respectively. Right, so if I just get rid of it, bam! And you see, look, Malefic Grasp, Fell Flame damage done by 120%. See, look. And then Fell Flame hitting reasonably hard now, like 25k in the first bit. And then, well, that's all my current, you know, level and gear anyway. And then whenever that finally drops, then it drops down to like 19k. Now, it's hard to hang on a minute. What? He didn't die. Can he still attack? He can as well. Raw. Okay, so right now, that's definitely a DPS increase, seeing as it doesn't actually kill your pet. No doubt that's a bug, and that will change. But that's quite funny. I didn't notice that until right then. So let's just pretend like he's dead, and just go on the talent as it's supposed to work. Now, I think using this talent would change your play style, possibly. Because normally, like on live, refreshing Unstable Affliction and Corruption using Fell Flame, because Fell Flame refreshes both of them, was a DPS loss because Fellflame did such little damage and only increased the duration by 6 seconds. It was a damage loss to do that because you're using, you know, X number of GCDs to get the duration up to what the original cast time was, and the damage done from the dots or from Malefic Grasp in those GCDs would be higher than what you do from Fellflame, etc., etc. So it's going to be hard to tell until you have things like recount and you know, you really sit down and like do the proper number crunching in like Simcraft or something. It's hard to tell whether Grimnar of Sacrifice or Grimnar of Supremacy having the empowered pet would be highest DPS. I think if you did use Grimnar of Sacrifice, well, everybody's just stopped moving. I have a horrible feeling I'm going to get disconnected. Oh no, they're back. Okay, good. Yeah, if you're using Grimnar of Sacrifice, I think it would change your play style because you then start using Fellflame to refresh Unstable Affliction and Corruption because of the increased damage. But as to whether or not the damage has been increased enough for it to be a DPS increase over manually refreshing, it's hard to tell. So lots of number crunching to be done on that as the beta progresses. Malefic Grasp, as you probably saw there, has now got a new spell graphic, which I noticed yesterday. It's just been beefed up a bit. It's no longer a puny little purple beam. It's got a few spirals going around it. It looks a lot similar to how Drained Soul sort of wiggles around. So you've got the extra, because originally it was just the purple beam in the middle, and now you've got the extra little twizzly bits that go flying towards the target. It looks quite nice. So it's quite cool. Very cosmic. So yeah, that's quite nice. So other than that, that is mainly the only Affliction Warlock changes at the moment. Just as a bonus, in case anybody hasn't seen them, I will show them the latest graphics for our cooldowns, because some of them are pretty cool. Now we have Dark Bargain, which is a talent. If I had some Tomb with the Clear Minds, I would be able to show you all of them, which I don't. So I'll just show you the ones I can for now. Dark Bargain, which is the one which makes you immune to damage and then deals 50% of it over 20 seconds. Gives you a nice big old skull, and the skull follows you wherever you look, which is a little bit daunting. But still quite cool. It's like a purple Divine Aegis. Dark Soul. Now, Misery is red. That's the haste one. I haven't checked the other spells, the other specs. I don't know whether they're different colours. Would be cool if they are, but if they're not, then it doesn't matter, because the red one's pretty cool anyway. In case you don't know, Symbiosis, for us, no matter what spec, is rejuvenation, so you get to do some healing. Although it's got a 10-second cooldown, so you're not going to be like actually proper healing. It's mainly for healing yourself, I think, to be honest. And Unending Resolve is the coolest looking spell for us. Boom! A big old skull shield. Look at that. That's just awesome. It's like, come at me, bro. You know, what you saying? You mad? Yeah, don't mean nothing. So, that's the latest update for Affliction Warlocks. I will, as always, keep you informed. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. If there's anything you want to know, any questions, don't hesitate to ask. As always, make sure you check out www.raidguides.com for all the latest videos, because that's where I'll be putting them up. There will be a forum that I'm going to be setting up on there for questions, etc. People to talk amongst themselves on. But it's just hard finding the time at the minute because I'm pretty busy. So that is in the works at the minute, but keep checking back and as things slowly progress. And I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.